Hello students, welcome to the next topic. So today we'll be looking into the installation of VirtualBox, Ubuntu and NS2. Okay, so already the VirtualBox and Ubuntu, the software link I will be providing in the Google Classroom, so you can download it, or it's also free. You can download it from the Google also. Now let us see how we are going to install first the VirtualBox. So you can just go into the Google and type VirtualBox download, right? So it will take you to the website called as virtualbox.org, right? Click on that. So this is the VirtualBox. So first thing is you are going to download this particular VirtualBox and install the VirtualBox. So once you go here, so you can go to the Windows host, right, and you can download the exe file, right? So the exe file will be downloaded. Now already I have downloaded that particular exe file, and also this file, the link I have given are in the Google Classroom. I will be providing this link also. Once you have downloaded the VirtualBox exe file, now just double click on that particular VirtualBox. So this is how the welcome window you are going to get. Click on next, right? So don't try to change anything. Click on next. It asks that it is going to install some networking features. Provide yes and click on installation. So now the setup will try to install the Oracle VM VirtualBox into your system. So it will take a couple of minutes of time for installing, and when you are downloading this VirtualBox from this, now try to take care that which bit operating system you are using. So whether you are using a 32-bit operating system or you are using a 64-bit operating system. The latest version of VirtualBox it supports for 64-bit operating system. So based on which operating system you are having, try to note down. So now you can see that the VirtualBox has been installed. So it takes just couple of minutes for us to install the VirtualBox. Now after installing VirtualBox, now before we try to install the Ubuntu here, right, now there are certain important things. So if you are using your latest laptop, so one thing you have to do is that you have to go to the BIOS setup. You have to go to the BIOS setup of your laptop. So right, as soon as you boot your systems or the laptop, press F2 or F10, go to the BIOS setup. In BIOS setup, some of the latest laptop if you are using, there the virtualization will be disabled. You have to go to the configuration in the BIOS setup, you search for the virtualization. Now it will be disabled. You have to enable that virtualization if you are using any latest the systems you are going to use. So once you have enabled the BIOS in BIOS setup, the virtualization you have gone through. Otherwise you will be getting some errors, so that I will show you. At that time you are supposed to go into the BIOS setup and try to enable the virtualization, otherwise you cannot install. Now once you have installed the Oracle that is VirtualBox manager, so you will be getting this screen. So initially this will be empty here. Already in this system I have installed Ubuntu. Now that is why it is showing, but initially you won't be having anything. It will be empty. So now you click on new. You just click on the new. Now it will ask the create virtual machine. So here you can give, since you are going to install now Ubuntu, so we'll just give the name as the Ubuntu. Click on next. Now it will ask for the memory size. Now always see that now you just keep this pointer to the green color. So the minimum that much of memory is required for us. You just keep it wherever the minimum size is required. Click on next. So it will ask to create a virtual hard disk. Click on next. It will ask for VirtualBox disk image. Now we are supposed to download the particular VirtualBox disk image, right? So it will do that thing, dynamically allocate the our hard disk and the file locations wherever it is there. Now you just keep as it is, click on create. So now the VirtualBox will try to set up the virtually your hard disk, the memory size, now everything it is going to do it. Now once you have done this, once after doing this, now you can see here, now you are going to get the Ubuntu, right? So now we need ISO file. Now already I have even given the link of the Ubuntu ISO file. Now since we are going to install NS2, now we are preferring to have an the ISO file, that is Ubuntu 12.04, right? So we are going for a older version of Ubuntu 12.04 because it helps us when we are going to install the NS2. Now I have already downloaded the ISO file here, Ubuntu 12.04. Now once you have got initial setup you have done by clicking on next, then go to keep on the here, that is Ubuntu, click on settings. The next thing, now in this settings, now already name you have given Ubuntu, go to the advanced next. Now shared clipboard, make it as bidirectional, drag and drop, make it as bidirectional. Clear? So then go for system. Now in system you just see that this pointer is always pointing to this green position. If it is not there, make sure that it points exactly to that green position, right? So then you go for display. Now here also, now virtual memory you just keep it at the green, right? Now then go for storage. Now when you are setting up this, if your virtualization is not enabled in your laptop, here only you will get an error message. In the down you can get an error message, just by clicking on that it will be showing you, right? So then you have to go to the BIOS setup and try to enable that virtualization, save the BIOS setup, exit, and once again you can start the same process. Next here you can see here the plus, right? Now click on this. Now add here, now you have to select the ISO file. Now already I have downloaded the ISO file. I have given the ISO file link also for you people in the classroom. I will be giving. From there you can download this ISO file 12.0.5, right? Select that particular ISO file, click on open, right? Then choose that ISO file. So now if no errors are there, you can find this OK button enabled. So since there is no errors here, it is enabled. Now click on OK. Once you have done through this, the next step is click on start. So once you click on the start, now your Ubuntu installation will start into your VirtualBox. So you can see this initially, then you click on start. So VirtualBox is started. So now the installation of Ubuntu will start. Of course it takes couple of minutes depending upon the speed or the processor of your laptop or the system what you are going to use. I can see that installation starts. Okay, so now you can see this particular screen. Now click on install Ubuntu, right? You have try Ubuntu and install Ubuntu. Now click on install Ubuntu. So then it asks download updates while installing. So don't click deselect it, right? So don't select this as well as the third-party installation, keep as it is and click on continue. And the next thing it does, erase disk and install Ubuntu. Don't worry, it is not going to erase any of your content of your laptop. It will erase on your virtual machine, so no need to worry anything. Let it be like that. Click on continue. It asks what is the disk it is going to take, right? Then click install now. So now the installation process starts. Now it will take couple of minutes depending upon on your particular system or the speed of your system. It takes a couple of minutes for installing the complete Ubuntu. So now you have to select the area, right? Select on this India or Kolkata, click continue. Keyboard layout, by default it is US, click on continue. Now it asks some system name. Okay, you give your particular system name and also password. Now password is very important. Remember this password, that will be the root password. So just give one particular password and click on continue. So now it takes again couple of minutes for installation of your entire Ubuntu. Okay, so once the installation is completed, so you are going to get this window. So it says for restart now. So now your installation is completed. So your Ubuntu installation is complete. Don't worry about this error term message what is going to display on the top. So now you click on restart now. So you have to restart your Ubuntu. So again it will take some time, so just wait for a certain period of time until the entire OS is been restarted. And if after certain period of time, if this particular window, if it's not closing, so then now you can close it forcefully, you can terminate. Let us wait how much time it will take. Usually it takes a little bit of time so that the entire thing will be closed. So let us see. So just wait for certain period of time until the OS is closed. Now if it is not closing, then you can go to the file, you have the option, click close here, click on that. Then it asks to save the machine state. You don't save anything, just go for power of the machine, click on OK. So now your machine is switched off. So once you have switched off your machine, so now let us go into let us start the Ubuntu. So you go to the left side, double click on this. So now your Ubuntu system or OS has to start. So it's very simple, it's very easy for installation also. The only error what you might get is while installing the VirtualBox, the new laptops what you are going to use, the virtualization in BIOS setup should be enabled. Initially in BIOS setup the virtualization will be disabled. If you get that error, then you have to go to the BIOS setup and enable that virtualization. Okay, so now these are some errors, not errors, just warning messages. Don't worry about that, you just close that. And of course the screen what you are going to get, your the Ubuntu or the whatever you are going to work, by default this is the screen. Of course you can make it as full screen also, but for doing that you have to do some other installation or some setup file has to be installed. But I think you need not worry. I think this much is enough for us to work with simple unique commands. Or maximum what you can do is you can go to view and you can go for virtual screen and you can just scale it to 125% or 150%, so we'll get in a maximum, right? Or else you can just have by default 100 size. So now you can see your Ubuntu started. Now give your password what you have given initially while installing. Right, so the Ubuntu will start. Now to install NS2 you have to go to the terminal and you have to install 3 important files. The first one is you are going to type sudo space apt -get install NS2. So this is the first thing which you are going to install. Now let us go to our terminal. Go to the terminal. Right, now type sudo space apt hyphen get space install NS2. Press enter key. It asks for the root password. Give the root password. Press enter key. Now your NS2 files will be installed. Click on yes. Within few minutes, so your NS2 will be installed. So first thing you have to install the NS2. So it is asking, of course, first time you are installing, so it asks for upgrade. So now you don't go for upgrade, so just click on don't upgrade now. So your NS2 has been installing. Now once NS2 is installed, so next what you have to install? NAM, right? That is network animator. Now what is this NAM and NS2 will be discussing in our next class. So you have to type same thing, sudo space apt hyphen get install space NAM. Enter key. Okay, it is asking some resource temporary unavailable. So some background, what happens is that you are when installing Ubuntu, we are not updated, right? So we have deselected that updated, so it is updating some files, so it might take some time. Let us try. So it will take some time, so that the other processes are been updated. After that process is been updated, so then you can go with this particular command, that is sudo apt hyphen get install NAM. Clear? Or else what we can do is, after once your Ubuntu has been installed, open your Ubuntu, leave it for certain period of time, such that all the Ubuntu files has been upgraded. Then you can go for installation of the NS2. Right, so the first is you are going to use this NS2. The second what command you have to use is that sudo apt hyphen get install NAM. So this is the second file which you have to install. And third one is sudo apt hyphen get install xgraph. Right, now for drawing some graph and all those things, we will be using this. So these are the three commands, just very simple three commands through which you can install NS2. Right, of course there are so many other ways of installing, but this is one of the best and very simple way in which you can try to install. So now wait for certain period of time, so that okay, now you can see that. So sudo apt get install NAM has been installing. Network animator, click on yes wherever it is asking to continue. So it will, yes, NAM has been installed. So now the third one, so sudo apt hyphen get install xgraph. So xgraph, you have to install this file. Yes, so now everything is installed. Now we'll clear. Now to check whether your NS2 has been installed properly or not, so you can just type NS after the dollar prompt, type NS and enter key. If you are able to get this particular symbol, percentage symbol, so that means NS2 has been completely or properly installed. Press Ctrl Z, come outside, and you can even check your NAM file whether NAM has been installed. Just type NAM, type enter key. Now this is the network animator. So this is your network animator. So if you get this window, so now it says that your NAM is also installed properly. Clear? So now this is how we are going to install your NS2. So what are the commands we have used? So the first is sudo apt hyphen get install NS2. Next sudo apt hyphen get install NAM, and next one is sudo apt-get install xgraph. Right now, after this, so to execute some of this other network simulator, so we'll explain it in the next class. Now you are supposed to install Java also. Now since you have not upgraded any files, so Java won't be there right now in our Ubuntu. Now you can install the Java also. So now to install that, now what you have to give, so you have to just give sudo apt-get install open jdk -7-jdk. So this is the command how you are going to install JDK. So once you have installed JDK into your machine, so then you have to download NSG 2.1 jar file. So the link also I'll be providing in the classroom, so that we'll discuss later how to go with that. But right now, this is the steps. These are the 3 steps which you are going to follow to install NS2 into your Ubuntu also. So now, so we have seen how we are going to install. Now this is the same thing, like how the Unix, you can work with all the Unix commands here, right? So we have seen how we are going to install the virtual machine and how we are going to install the Ubuntu and the NS2 software. Clear? So it is very simple. So follow these steps properly. Now if you have any doubts, you can just once again watch the video. And basically only one thing what you might get, since if we are using your latest laptop, as I repeatedly told, when you are installing VirtualBox, you will get an error related to virtualization. So if you get this particular error related to virtualization, you have to go to BIOS setup of your system, right? So how do you go to the BIOS setup of your system? Now before you boot your system, press F2 or F10 key, and so that you go to the BIOS setup. Now inside the BIOS setup, go to the system configuration. There you will find something called as virtualization, and this virtualization by default it will be disabled in your laptops, right? It will be disabled like this. So what you have to do is you have to enable this virtualization. Once you enable this, the virtualization, then only you can install the VMware. So only in some of the new laptops you might get this error of virtualization. Now at that time you have to go to the BIOS setup of your system, search for virtualization and enable that, and save it and exit BIOS setup, and other things will work perfectly. So then you can go with installation of Ubuntu. So this is the in brief. Now today we have seen now how we are going to install the VMware, that is VM VirtualBox, and install the Ubuntu, as well as installing NS2. So many of us find NS2 installation is very difficult, and it's nothing. So to install NS2, hardly we took less than 5 minutes. Only 3 commands what we have used. What are that? Sudo apt-get install NS2, sudo apt-get install nam file NAM, then sudo apt-get install xgraph. So by using these 3 commands, we have installed successfully NS2 and NAM file into our virtual machine. So this is about a brief introduction part about the installation of our software. So in the next video, we'll start with what is NS2, right? So because we have another set of program. What is this NS2? Network simulator means what, and how we are going to write some of the TCL scripts, and we'll try to see that how we can work with some of the programs, how we can actually simulate our networks. So till now in theory part we have studied so much of things, so all the other things, how actually in practically now we are going to look all those things. We will be discussing it in our next sessions. So this is about the installation, guys. So I hope that you follow these steps and try to install it in your system, and I will be giving you the links of all the softwares, like say the VMware as well as our Ubuntu. So it will be provided in your classroom, or you can download it from the Google also. So try to download it and try to install it in your systems. So if you get any error, Now once again you can feel free to contact me. Okay, thank you for watching this video.